Creator, Science, Safety, Health. Okay. Oh my gosh. Let's erase this. Okay. Understanding elements. Okay. Our topic for today. Uh, Understanding elements. Okay. Now, before going further, let's explain a little bit with the basics of this topic. Okay, based on our history. Okay, history through alchemy. The study of alchemy from our previous chemists who based their studies according to air, okay, water, fire, and earth. Where this will also come out in the examination. Be careful. Okay, the four elements of nature. If somebody will ask, what are the four elements of nature? Like that, and you will answer directly, earth, air, fire, and water, and I thank you. Okay, things like that. So what are the four elements of nature? Take note the answer. Without also one of the answer there, we will die. Four, we will die without, no, except fire. We will be alive without fire. But we cannot cook food. We cannot produce process if there's no fire. For example, if you want to boil or if you want to cook food, there's a flame. Flame is a minor occurrence of a fire. Okay? Flame and fire are the same, but it depends on the intent. Because flame intent can help us to produce food. Okay? Fire intent is causing destruction to property, to people. But there's also fire that can create products. For example, pyrolysis, heating in the furnace. Okay, you can cook your, for example, the mixtures of your, let's say, silica, whatever, or ore, shale, like that, the raw materials of cement, limestone, things like that, iron ore, things like the shale, S-H-E-L-E, okay? Or not only the cement, also in the rubber industry, plastic industry, petroleum industry. There's a lot of pyrolysis involving furnace, heating, and there's a fire there. There's a huge flame. Okay, huge flame is a fire. Okay, but what we mean in fire, you usually equate that as unintentional, that is destructive, right? Causing a lot of people to die. But let's not limit our brain cells to the damage or to the detrimental effect of the fire. Fire can be useful. Okay. Without fire, there's no processes that will produce different products such we use in our home. Let's say ceramics, plates, Tupperwares, plastics. So there's every time the processes involves heating. There's no processes that doesn't involve heating. It's always heating and cooling. You get the point? Because if there's no heating, then there will be no expansion. Okay? So if there's cooling, there is compression, it will compress, right? If you remember our thermodynamics, once we compress, we will apply the cooling effect. Okay, and if you try to expand or expansion, meaning we need to apply heat or heating. That's why heating, cooling, always like that in the process of producing different products all over the world. Now, if you try to put that in our body, we have also heating and cooling. Okay, if there's no heating and cooling, then we don't have proper metabolism. You get the point? We cannot resist the temperature in the earth. Okay? Our temperature of our skin can resist the temperature of the sun and during also cold season. So if there's no heating and cooling in our body, then problem. Okay? Things like that. Okay? So, four elements of nature. So this is only good for enumeration. Okay? Because when I was in high school, elementary, high school, I love enumeration, listing, if there's tourist exam. So most of the times I have a higher grade, of course. Things like that, okay? And my classmate will say, uy, butang ka, Julie, wala apil, asang tulok, memorize ako, kung dyan memorize yung tanan, Julie. Guys, panang walay alakansi. Okay? Comma, everything, punctuation marks, like that. That was in elementary, going to high school. Then, going to college, I started to realize that it's not in this way. I need to improve my memorization technique. Things like that. Get the point? So it changed a little bit until such time it changed drastically, well, into understanding, comprehension, like that, not plain memorization. I started also with plain memorization before. Okay? Things like that. So, since I grow up, since I grow old with English language vocab like that, okay, so I increase also the way how I memorize knowledge, technology like that. Okay, so for elements of nature, we have the earth, okay, the air. During your memorization technique, consider first the rhyme so that you will not be lost. Earth, air, so rhyme, right? Okay, then water and fire. Okay. If there's no fire also, there's no volcanic eruption. Then we don't have islands also at this moment in time because you know the islands will be produced during to the bombarding of this lava soil before in the long time ago. Okay, so things like that. There's involved heat. Normally, if there's heat, there's fire. Natural fire, I mean. Okay, things like that. By our celestial bodies, heavenly bodies, like that. Okay, before there's no planets, things like that, and it's bombarded very fast bombardment of different celestial bodies, like that, whatever. Okay, and then after that, it produces planets like that, comets, asteroids, everything. The Milky Way, the galaxy, the stars, the comets, okay, things like that. Because before it's nothing. It's just like an empty space. Charot. Just like a black hole of anything, very dark, nothing. Okay, things like that. Okay, so earth, air, water, and fire. The study of alchemy. So our chemists before are known alchemists. Okay, now through evolution, it changed. Development of new studies, new species, new theories, everything. So, it changed to chemistry. Okay, and it become our scientists studying chemistry are now chemists. Like that. So, Dmitry Mendeleev is a Russian chemist. Okay, Russian chemist. Things like that, who discovered periodic table arranged properly atomic masses with its corresponding physical and chemical properties. He is the father of old periodic table or the periodic table. So in 18th century, 1866, things like that. Okay, things like that. Okay, then after him we have Henry Moseley in 1869. Okay, he discovered and arranged the modern periodic table according to increasing atomic number. So in your memorization, you will just say increasing atomic number, Henry Moseley, and new. And then Dmitry Mendeleev, old, and then atomic mass or atomic weight. Okay, so that is easy to remember. Okay, get the point? Things like that. Okay. Now, we have 118 elements. 118 elements. Just memorize the figures. Okay, because it's not also complicated or it's not complex to memorize very easy figures, right? 118 elements. Okay. Easy to memorize figures or digits. So we have 118 elements composed of naturally occurring elements and artificially prepared elements. I'll just put an acronym to say the ink of this white marker, the marker, whiteboard marker. So NOE meaning naturally occurring elements. Okay, APE, artificially prepared elements. The common denominator is E, means elements, during your memorization technique. You get the point? So, because if you're facing a very extensive examination, you cannot input all the words in your brain cells. Aside from understanding, it needs really a specific definition, explanation. So you need to remember the common denominator, the K words like that, things. Okay, for example, UNESCO, things like that. You get the point? So things like that. United Nations Educational, Scientific, Cultural Organization. UNESCO, right? They are the one that studying the education level, like that, okay, all over the world, things like that. Okay, so naturally occurring elements, we have 92. Okay, you get the point, 92. And artificially prepared elements, 26, a total of 118 elements. Okay. Now, artificially prepared elements, also known man-made elements, okay, or unnatural elements, adjective, unnatural, okay, like meaning not natural, okay, like that, elements. Because sometimes in the examination, they will trick you out or trap you out with a terminology that have the same meaning. And you studied every time in your elementary, senior high school, intermediate high school, like that, and then college. You are always used to that words over and over again. See, artificially prepared. Then if the question will change, how many man-made elements? How many not natural elements? How many unnatural elements? So you cannot answer anymore because you are waiting the same words to appear. So this is the power of good English language ability. Okay, get the point? So you can assess really the phrasing and everything, blah, blah, blah. It's easy to answer questions. Not really easy, it's very comfortable and convenient to answer. You get the point? Things like that. So there are 92 naturally occurring elements. Okay, and there are 26 artificially prepared elements or man-made elements or not natural elements or unnatural elements. Okay, you get the point? Now, so in the world of today, starting from 2018, okay, until 2023, so they introduced another element discovered in 2018. Like, so this is ununinium element, 2018, okay? But sad to say, this has not yet been approved by United Nations and all scientists all over the world because they have a meeting, declaration, some evidence like that. Do we need to apply this in our textbooks like that? Because our people are practicing the old, theory that we have 118 elements only, and now it will become 119 elements. Now, until now, it has not been proven and confirmed to be declared in the textbooks because there's still so many, argumentation like that. But it's already discovered, actually. Okay? When we say, what element is the last discovered? Your answer will be ununinium. But if the question was say, how many elements in our periodic table? You still have to answer 118. Because the question is only saying, what is the latest element discovered? Okay? So from 2018 to 2023, there's nothing new element discovered except for ununinium in 2018. Okay? So that's why. Take note the way how it phrased the sentence like that. And your answer also will base on there. Okay? You got the point? things like that. Because it doesn't mean that it's not reflected yet, because so many argumentation, it doesn't mean that it was not discovered. It's what's really discovered. But it really needs a lot of evidence, proofs, documentation, blah blah blah, approved by the United Nations and the group of scientists all over the world. Okay, get the point. Things like that. Okay. Now, we will study first Charis. Okay. Okay. So we will study first the old elements discovered by Dmitry Mendeleev. Okay. You get the point? Russian chemist in 1866. Okay. Dmitry Mendeleev. Okay. It was just so lucky that Dmitry Mendeleev also discovered and founded his own element. This is called Mendelevium. Okay, Mendelevium has an atomic mass of 258 grams per atom. Okay, and it's gonna be an atomic number of 101. Okay, discovered in 19th century, so 1955. Okay. This is a brief history on the Dmitry Mendeleev. Okay, this is old periodic table. Okay, old periodic table arranged in increasing atomic mass or atomic number. No, atomic mass, atomic weight. Okay. Atomic number has no unit because that's number, common sense. Okay. All number have no units because the word itself will speak that there's no unit of measurement. Okay, but if you said pressure, there's a unit. That's why our blood pressure have a unit of measurement of millimeters mercury. Or else, if it has no unit, then that is not pressure. Since our doctors, nurses, and people around the world are practicing the general understanding or understood technique, so it's okay because we know that already, but just to FYI lang, that is millimeters mercury, the unit of pressure, our blood pressure. Okay, because not all knows this. Okay, if you love science professionals and other wide readers like that, above mediocre intelligence level, mediocre, like that, below, average below intellectual capacity. They don't know what's the unit of pressure of blood pressure. Maybe they will say 190 bar over 80 bar problem. Your body will explode. You get the point? Because too much pressure. Just like a motor pump or whatever in the process. Electrical motor, mechanical motor pump, like that. Too much pressure. Our blood could not deliver and produce like that. You get the point? Things like that. Okay, so it's gonna be like that. So this is an analogy that's saying number has no unit. Atomic number, periodic number, like that. Mass number. There's no specific unit of measurement. Okay, things like that. Okay, now the 20. Okay, we have 18 groups. 1, 2, 3, 4 until 18. Okay, 18 groups. The modern periodic table arranged in increasing atomic number, and the properties of elements are based on the periodic functions of their atomic number. Okay, from left to right, increasing number. Okay, things like that. From top to bottom also, increasing atomic number. Okay? Things like that. Okay, mga palangga. Now, we need to study first old elements. There are 20 elements siya. We'll stop on calcium. Okay? Calcium, which is the important mineral or element for our bone health and skeletal health. We must have rich in calcium. It's recommended that we need to drink milk. Okay. and expose yourself with the heat of the sun, vitamin D, and also any supplemental food that contains calcium, right? And also advised to eat aquatic food in the sea, like fish, octopus, crab, shells, squid, what else? Lobster. So these are foods from the sea or seafoods rich in calcium. Okay, the more you eat that, the more it will strengthen your bone. Okay, things like that. And this is also the reason why the Japanese people have a longer years, the lifespan of all over the world. By study and research, according to my research, the Japanese or the Japan people have the highest lifespan. Most of their old people will reach until 100 years plus all over the world. Why? Because they eat less processed foods but love, these seafoods. Okay, the fish, they love natural food or organic food. Okay, but those from Asia, Europe, and Western countries will never reach 100 years old because they love to eat processed foods. You get the point? And a lot also of Japanese people are vegetarian. You get the point? Things like that. That's why they are the country that based on the higher lifespan. Like that. Okay? That's why they are also called the country that has an oldest population. Okay, oldest, if that is the case, the people are very old, ancient, like that, because of the lifespan. It really connect the study, right? You get the point? Ganon. So that's Japan, huh? The oldest all over the world, and also the highest lifespan of the people. Your answer will be Japan. Because if you say technology, they are also advanced in technology, but that's subjective. There are 5 countries on technology: Taiwan, Korea, America, Japan, and sometimes also Russia. Then sometimes every year it will be interchanged. Who is in the number 1, who is in number 2, dependent on the records in every year survey. So we cannot have the title fixed and permanent. So meaning subjective. Okay, according to the years it has been surveyed. Okay? So that's why we cannot say the blah 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 all over the world. This one, the blah 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 all over the world, meaning fixed, permanent, it will never change. Okay, for example, the largest river, things like that. You get the point? The Nile River. Okay. The largest desert, Sahara Desert. The largest mountain, Mount Everest. Things like that. Get the point? Diba? Okay, like that, nakakaloka. O diba? The largest crime. You know that? So many crimes. Okay? What's that? Czech Republic. Things like that. And the drug cartel all over the world. Meaning, there's a lot of drugs, illegal drugs. Mexico, okay, is the largest producer of illegal drugs in the whole world. Mexico. Okay, so these are unfixed. And then the country that has so many billionaires, of course, United States of America. This is the country all over the world that has so many billionaires live there. Okay, because they are most powerful, right? Okay, and which country has the strongest, monetary fund, meaning the money? It's the dinar is the strongest unit of money. Okay, dinar, not the dollars, not the US dollars, not the, what do you call this one? Not the pound in the British. Okay, it's dinar. The strongest money is dinar. Okay, things like, and so many things. The largest country, Russia, blah blah blah, so and so. Okay, you will learn that also if you read a lot, if you research a lot, right? The poorest country, like that. Who is the poorest country? It's gonna be Burundi. Okay, it's the largest and the poorest country. Okay, things like because the poorest country it can never change a little bit because unless they improve a lot. But if you say the richest, sometimes it will change. Okay, last year it's gonna be Luxembourg. The last 3 years it's gonna be Qatar, and then interchange in the top four. Sometimes also Singapore and US will overtake. So there's no subjective again. But for the poorest, there's no such drastic changes in the economy a very sudden, right? It would take how many years pa before climbing to another spot. That's why the poorest will remain. Okay, but the richest will sometimes change according to the GDP, gross domestic product, revenue, okay, per capita, things like that. You get the rich country. You get the point? Things like Mubalik ka sa atong periodic table. That's history and general information. Now let's go back. Okay, now 20. Okay, now we tarat. Okay, tararan. Okay. Okay. Ganon. So it is like this. So we need to cut off the transition metals. Okay, transition metals there. Transition elements are mostly metals. So transition meaning they can easily adapt to different temperature and pressure. That's why sometimes they will very flexible elements. Sometimes they will act as a solid a little bit, gas a little bit. Those elements are called transition. From the English term, it's transition, meaning it will shift to another form, appears like blah, 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 so and so. The adjective would have the definition. The part, things like the transition elements. Let's escape the transition elements. Okay? Like that. Okay. Ganon. And then we need to have here the, okay. Ganon. Okay, let's say hydrogen. Hydrogen is very special. He is on the top of everything. Why? Because he is very light. The atomic mass is only 1.008 gram per atom. Okay, it's very easy to manage. He's on the top, very special. Special treatment of all the elements, hydrogen. Because without hydrogen, we will also die. Okay, things like that. Ganun ba sa theory? Yes. Char. Okay. Because H is present in water. H2, meaning we need 2 atoms of hydrogen in order for us to be alive. Again, we need 2 atoms of hydrogen in order for us to be alive. Period. Like that. Because that's in the molecule water. Okay. And we cannot isolate that artificially without experimentation. It's chemically bonded naturally in the nature. Okay? When we see the rain, when we drink the purified drinking water, it's really chemically combined. So it will go to our system. Okay? Get the point, things like that. Okay, mga palangga. Okay, we have here lithium, beryllium, chararat. Okay, we have sodium, magnesium, and we have potassium and calcium. Okay. Put here like this, like this, like this, like this. Okay. Okay, guys. Actually, guys, when I was in my first year college, I didn't study everything, how it is being managed. I only remember through reading like that. But when I already become a registered chemical engineer, that's the time I study more. Okay? So for me, my learning doesn't stop after graduation, after I already an engineer. I still study a lot by reading like that because that's my hobby. Okay? Researching, scanning books. Like I go to the National Bookstore, I always watch books, things like that. Okay? Instead of going to the cell phones, I will go to the bookstore to watch books there. Sometimes I cannot also sleep without books. scanning in my library, in my bedroom. But I don't have books here. Okay, this it helps me a lot to intensify my vocabulary, the way I speak, like that. You get the point? Okay. Now we have here, okay, the boron, the carbon, the nitrogen, the oxygen, and the fluorine. Okay, the helium, the neon, the xenon, okay, things like that. Okay, argon. Okay, okay. Or krypton. It depends on the situation which comes first. Purpose of discussion only is to show. Okay, things like that. Okay. Like this. So these are the first 20 elements, the old periodic table discovered by Dmitry Mendeleev. Okay, the father of our periodic table. Okay, things like that. And we have also here aluminum. Okay, aluminum is very useful, right? Okay, like because it can remove the bad odor of the food, like that. Okay, you get the point. So we have the silicon. Okay, we have also the phosphorus, the sulfur, right? You get the point? Ganon. And the chlorine. Okay, things like that. Count na siya. 1, 2, 3. Oh, no, sorry. The helium will be number 2 because it's in the row, the numbering. Increasing atomic number from left to right. Sorry. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Right? 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. Okay, 20. We will erase argon muna ha. Argon. Argon is used as a used to in the confined space, right? Because this is inert gas, it will not react to flammable gases that can cause explosion and fire. Okay, that's why they need to purge argon gas. That's the reason. Okay, because argon will not react to oxygen containing compound. Okay, that's why argon is used as a purging substance instead of the others. Okay, in a confined space, argon cylinder. Okay, get the point. Inert or noble gas. Okay, get the point. So 20 na no? Okay. Increasing atomic number, check. Okay. Okay. Check siya. Okay. The same group. Okay. This is group 1A, group 2A, like this. And we have also group 1B, okay, 2B, okay, 3B, sorry, 4B. Because carbon, I love carbon. Every time I see carbon, I can always remember the valence electrons, atomic number, and it looks like it will be my basis all the time when I compute for, problem solving in the past. Okay, carbon, CHOs. I love that, okay? So, makaremember din ko sa uban. Okay, let's say 4B, 5B, lagay chupa-chucho. Okay, 6, okay. Kay A man siya, okay. That's why guys, I told you, your brain will easily correct if you will really structure and write rather than speaking. I'm consistent to that, right? It's not, when you speak, it's not easy to correct. You write, it's very easy because you will see, at the same time you will talk. So this is gonna be A. Okay, see, it's not aligning. Okay. 4B, 5A, like that. Okay, 6A. You get the point? Like that. Because every time you write, you can still also look what you write, right? Okay. So, okay, things like that. Okay. 7A. And then we have that. Supposedly this is 8A also, but this is now 0. Group 0. Okay, group 0 meaning stable, okay, unreactive, okay, noble, and inert. These are the adjectives, synonyms. So, in taking chemistry exam in the future or during chemistry questions or examination related to science, if you say which of the following elements are not stable, and then you choose to be helium, neon, xenon, and boron. Of course, boron, because boron is not good, belong in the group 0, right? So things like that, and there's no open periodic table in the examination. So sometimes munganga jud ta guys, no? Okay, get the point, things like that. So another term of inert gas is also noble gas, meaning unreactive gas, stable gas. And then we say, so why you say nitrogen is non-flammable, but it doesn't mean it is non-reactive. You get the point? There's a difference when you say non-reactive or non-flammable, because flammability and reactivity, it doesn't connect. Reactivity in terms of chemical reactions, chemical bonding, but okay, reactivity or stability, right? But flammability referring to the flash point, the ignition level at a certain temperature by the presence of heat and ignition source in that particular place and environment. That's flammability. Okay, the lowest temperature it ignites and causes, the more it causes fire. Because imagine the temperature is very low, it will ignite directly and causing fire. So this is the lowest and minimum temperature. Meaning to say all fire attain the lowest and minimum, okay, flash point. Like this in the future, what is the main cause of a fire? A, B. See, you answer always lowest minimum temperature or minimum temperature or extremely minimum. Imagine at extremely minimum temperature, it will ignite and cause a combustion or fire, because this ignite, explosion, fire. Most of the times they will go together. Before it will become a fire, it starts first with ignition and then combustion. There will be no fire if there's no ignition and combustion in the initial stage. Again, by theory. There will be no fire directly if there's no ignition and combustion process. Because the oxygen will not be released if there's no combustion. You get the point? And ignition will not be there if there's no heat. And there's no fire if there's no heat. Okay? That's why there's no fire if there's no heat. There's no ignition source, and there's no also this particular flash point. Okay? Minimum flash point or lowest temperature. You get the point? Or complete combustion. Okay? Okay, tungod sa rapid oxidation. If there's a rapid oxidation, the chance is most probably it can create explosion and a fire. You get the point? Anak siya. Okay. This is very clear. Okay. As what I can remember, the atomic weight of calcium is gonna be 30.048, right? Yeah. Okay. I think so. Okay. Now we have the 20 elements now, no? It's very clear. Okay. Now, from 1A group, the same physical properties. Okay, because this is basic to valency, as what I discussed a while ago, or valence electrons. Okay, if you say group 1A, 1 valence electrons. Group 2A, 2 valence electrons. According to my classmates, if you want to become a professor, I will be assigned in a high school. But instead of saying that he discriminates me, I love it. Okay, you get the point? Because the way how I discuss, like, okay? So, to tell you, you'll become a teacher in the future, good for you in high school. Right? Not in college. Because in college, automatic like that. But even though I will be assigned in college, I will teach also in the same way. Okay, you get the point. Things like so. We have 3A, 3 valence electrons. Okay, 4A, 4 valence electrons. Okay, nitrogen 5. The group will specify the valence of electrons. That's it. No need to state what they want. Okay, you get the point. So, in this periodic table, if the question will say in the group 7A, 7%, if you will say, what is the most electronegative element in the periodic table? Only like that. The answer will be fluorine. Nothing else. There are 118 elements. I'm saying, the most electronegative is fluorine. Okay, because he's in the top. Okay, you get the point. The top of the halogen family or the halide group here. Okay, with negative 1, an ion or charge. Okay, get the point, things like that. You get the point mga palangga kong hitad? Okay, now the most electronegative will easily attract the electropositive elements. What are those electropositive elements? Those are metals. Okay, so sodium here. Sodium will react to chlorine here to have the salt in our food. Okay? So imagine if sodium will not run away to contact with chlorine, then we don't have taste good today in meat, food like that in our food because there's no salt. You get the point? So we need to give thanks for this periodic table because of this periodic table we can taste better. We can taste deliciously like that. You get the point? Things like that. And we can have also electrical impulses in our neurons to have electrochemical process to attain a specific hormone to do what we want in life. To walk, to dance, to carry things. You cannot carry this hormone to carry, to push you energy. Okay, get the point? That's why you will eat carbohydrates, protein. Okay, and carbohydrates and protein made up mainly of these elements here. Carbon, hydrogen, oxygen, nitrogen, like blah blah blah, so and so. Okay? You get the point? I don't have to discuss everything because the time will not be enough. You get the point? Things like that. Okay, that's very clear, right? Okay, let's say the chemical properties really would mean in the same group. Okay, I will say, fluorine will share the same chemical properties with chlorine, bromine. Actually, marami pa siya eh. Fluorine, chlorine, bromine, iodine, astatine. Like that. Okay? Things like this. Okay. Group 1A will be the alkali metals or alkali elements. It's okay also. Okay. Alkali, meaning why? Because when it reacts to water, it will produce an alkaline solution. Okay. Sodium plus water produces sodium hydroxide. Okay. That's why we have soda drinks like that. Okay. Or soda ash. Or if calcium, then lime. Okay, lime solution. Things like that. Okay. Caustic soda. Things like that. Okay. Now, alkali metals or element. It's okay. It depends on your, because mostly positive kasi. So metals, except hydrogen. Right? So that's why metals will be okay. Aside from using elements. Okay. Here in group 2A, we will see alkaline earth metals. Okay. So if the question will be in the future, which of the following will yield more alkaline solution? A. Calcium, B. Sodium, D. Phosphorus, E. None of the above. Okay. Take the question. Which of the following will yield more alkaline solution? It doesn't mean the volume for that. It means the chemical properties. Do you will put 1 gallon of, let's say, water to magnesium and only 50 gallons for sodium, you cannot say that the magnesium with 200 gallons are the more alkaline because it doesn't focused on the volume. It's focused on the chemical properties. Okay, meaning the concentration, the more it is alkaline. Okay, get the point. So if you say the more it is being liquefied, or the more it will be homogenized, meaning homogenized by water, it will become solid because the solid will dissolve. The term is homogenized. So the more it will become homogenized, because when the salt will be dissolved in water, it will become liquid all. So that's why homogeneous, right? So the more it will become homogenized, okay, I use as a verb. Okay, so meaning to say, it is not matter the volume. The volume will not matter there. It's the alkalinity. Okay, the reaction of water to the alkali or the alkaline. So, the answer will be sodium, not calcium. Why? Because alkali will have strong alkaline solution when reacted to water compared to the group 2A, which is alkaline earth metals. You get the point? Okay? Klaro na siya ha. Okay, the more it is alkaline, meaning the more in the group 1A. Sodium, potassium, like that, blah, blah, blah. Okay, get the point? Really? Yes, it's true. Because calcium, if you too much alkalinity, then problem. Our blood also problem because they will interact in there, and then calcium is more problem also. It will not become very strong. Nakakaloka. Tama. Yes, oh, it will not neutralize. Okay? Really, okay? Things like that. Ganon. It has to do with something with the blood because our blood also is alkaline in nature. Alkaline. pH. Okay? So alkaline pH somewhere along 7.9 to 8. Ganun siya ang range. Okay? Then, if our blood is acidic, probably high. Okay? Things like that. And then the calcium is not acidic, it's not also too much alkaline, so it's in the average. So that's why it can compensate to the reaction of our blood. Okay, get the point? Things like the compatibility. Okay, things like that. Okay, nakakaloka, no? Okay, so it's in here, 20 pa lang ganina guys doon, nanay minerals, nanay chlorides, may sodium. Wow, I love it. Potassium. Oh my gosh! Okay, with these three elements, we will leave now. Okay, without the other elements. Imagine. Potassium, mineral. Okay, again, for the bone health. Sodium. Okay, for our, neurons, for electrical impulses to produce energy, to activate our senses. Okay, on our motor skills. When we move, we need sodium that will pump in the neurons inside our brain cells, central nervous system, and then it produces hormones. Okay, magnesium. Okay, so this magnesium. Okay, for the muscles, for the skin protection, and so. Okay, and then will help also the calcium and phosphorus. For the bone health, it's not only the calcium will do. There's a collaboration between the phosphorus, calcium, magnesium, potassium. Okay, things like this. And the vitamin D. Okay, so magnesium check, calcium check, sodium check, potassium check. That's just the first 20 elements. Okay, kang Dimetri Mendeleev. Wow, I love it. Has also carbon. Okay, carbon is the source of all solid materials in the whole world. Carbon, again. Carbon is the main source of all solid substances in the whole world. Okay, things like that. So carbon. If there's no carbon, we will also die because most of the protein, carbohydrates, lipids, fats, energy consists of carbon. That's why carbohydrates. Okay? Without carbon, patay. Okay, nitrogen, patay po if we don't have nitrogen because we don't have DNA. Most of our DNA contains nitrogen. Okay, the nitrogenous-based compound and deoxyribose sugars if we try to analyze the chemical reactions of our genes. You get the point. Deoxyribonucleic acid and ribonucleic acid. A lot of nitrogenous-based compounds there because it is the amino acids, the building blocks of this, protein, things like that. And protein also will yield too much combination to produce the right and appropriate DNA. Okay, check. Oxygen, We will die without oxygen, inhalation, right? 21% in the atmosphere, okay? Oh my gosh, it's in here everything, and hydrogen also. There's water, okay. Oh my gosh, helium also in the sun. Helium is generating heat energy through the sun will release helium in the planet Earth. If that is the case, then our divers cannot withstand inside the sea. Okay? We cannot swim without helium. There's no gas, okay, that can help us survive on breathing and inhalation. Helium is very important in diving with oxygen at the back or whatever. You get the point, things like that, okay? Neon, not too much. Neon is only artificial, like a neon lights in the cities. Not really that important. But at least it can create beauty and decoration in our earth. In the lights, city lights. Okay? That's why we have neon lights. But we can be alive without neon. Okay? Things like what else? Lithium is very important. Without lithium, we don't have battery in our cell phones, in our laptops. Lithium. See here, group 1A. That's why, guys, if you try to contact your cell phone to highly alkaline solution, it will damage the function of lithium because lithium is alkali family. The compatibility will react. You got the point? So, for example, if you taking for granted, it will contact to the lime solution or any solvents like that. Take note, lithium is alkali metal, so problem. Okay, so it can cause damage for your battery life. Okay, because lithium is studied the most long life of all elements to be put in the mobile phone, in the laptop, based on their study. Okay, that's why they use lithium battery. Before it's not lithium, they changed it through constant research for the properties of this periodic table. When they study elements or new products, they need to study on the elements first. This is the job of research and development, R&D. They will try to see what materials really, the compatibility, the parameters, will it last forever, it lasts a longer time. So this has been researched thoroughly. You get the point? Before it will release in the market. Okay? Oh, what else? Beryllium, not too much with beryllium. Okay. Aluminum, very important. Aluminum. Food industry. Okay? Things like that. What else? Okay. Phosphorus. Ay, nakakaloka si phosphorus. Without phosphorus, we don't have, okay, DNA, like that, problem. Because there's phosphorus there. Okay, the helix structure of our DNA. Then, before it can produce the survival of these genes, like that, the growth of that genes, there's not be phosphorus there. Okay? Get the point. Sulfur also have. Okay? You get the point. Also, so our sulfur is not too much, but there's a sulfur also, reacting to some of the proteins. Because sometimes CHON, the chons. Some of the proteins have S in special circumstance, not all the time. Because most of the time, chon only, chon. CHON, carbon, hydrogen, oxygen, hydrogen. But sometimes also, under special circumstance, we have CHONS sometimes. For example, if we eat potato, potato, French fries, we love KFC, McDonald's. French fries made of potato. Potato is known to contain a trace of sulfur. Okay, you get the point. Things like that. That's why our body also have sulfur, especially the fast foods. It doesn't mean also that sulfur are only in the groundwater, in the sewage, wastewater, in the mine pit, like that, decaying materials, the fuels, fossil fuels, like that. It's not only like that because as you can remember that decaying of bacterial organic matter, plants and animals, and potato is plant. That's why there's trace of sulfur. Because this is the source of sulfur. The action of the bacterial degradation through plant, animals, fossil fuels, decaying and degrading and decomposition of these materials. Okay, like that in the presence of stagnant water or water with less oxygen. Okay. That's the requirement to produce H2S. Things like that. Okay, or sulfur. Okay, if your place is very dry, less chance of H2S occur because there's no presence of hydrogen. That's why hydrogen sulfide. You get the point? Common sense kasi yan. You get the point? Mga palangga akong hitad. Okay. So, muna siyang tagbo. Now, if you're, nakakaloka, no? If you're, let's say, if your place talaga, if your confined space is very open, even though there's still water, then it will absorb by the heat of the sun. So there's higher oxygen. So the rapid oxidation will limit the production of H2S, even though there's water. Okay, so it's gonna be the water and the oxygen. Less oxygen and more water. Okay, get the point. Or stagnant water, meaning water is steady, permanent, just like a swamp. You know, swamp. There's a soil that is stack of water for a long period of time, like that nobody cares because the area is like a farm before and nobody not civilized, cultivated that land. Okay, get the point. So there's H2S there. Okay, or the canal, the drainage canal like that, or the pit manhole like that. There's an H2S there because very configured, very close. Okay, got the point. The sewer. Okay, have. Okay, got the point. Ganon. Okay, so 20 elements, right? Okay. Now, we go to the classification of the periodic table. Okay, so that we can understand really. Okay, nakakaloka. Okay. So, now we have the first classification will be the metals. Okay. Metals. So, how many metals we have? Okay, how many metals we have? So, there are 93 metals. Okay. 93 metals. Okay, in the periodic table. So how many non-metals we have? Non-metals. Later, we will enumerate what's this so that we can understand. Most of them we use in our kitchen also. Kitchen, when we cook, like that, blah, blah, blah. Okay? And we encounter this in our daily life. We are not just, knowing what this all about. Okay? Like that. So we have non-metals, we have 12 non-metals. Okay. Get the point. When you sleep, there's oxygen because of your AC. You get the point? Things like that. Number 3. Non-metals. Noble gases. Okay. Noble gases. Okay, what else? Number 4, metalloids. Oh, I love the metalloids. Really. Metalloids or the semiconductors. Very important in electronics industry, the manufacture of printed circuit boards, appliances, technology driven by electricity or powered by electricity, all. Equipment, machineries, facilities, computer, laptops. Okay, what else? So many in the semiconductor industry, huh? They use metalloids elements that is flexible, can act as a metal, can act as a metal, like that, can resist higher heat, can resist too much temperature, things like this. Okay, you get the point. Semiconductor. Okay, so semiconductors industry, usually electronics industry, right? You get the point. Electronics industry. Oh, I love Taiwan. Shout out Taiwan people. They have very good production of electronics industry. I think number 1 in the whole world. Electronics. I'm not saying the cars, like that. Electronics, laptop, cell phones, like that. Okay. The Taiwan country. Okay. Just search that also by yourself. If not in number 1, there will be in top number 4, top number 3, like that. Subjective. Okay, metalloids. Number 5. Okay. We have also the transition, but most of the transition belongs to the metals, so we will not include, right? Okay. Later we will have the comprehensive classification. This is only the major classification, chupa chucho. Enumerate the four classification and the four categories of elements in the periodic table. Question number 1. There's no choices. Hindi mo siyang enumerate. Okay, we have metals, non-metals, noble gases, and alloys. How many metals? 93. Okay. How many non-metals? 12. Okay. How many noble gases? 7. Okay. How many metals and semiconductors? Gonna be 7. Noble gases, it's 6 only because except for the last one. Even though they're the same in group, but this is the only one not noble. Sa katapusan siya, guys. Kabak siya dito. Okay, sa artificially, wait. Prepared materials. Atomic number very high. Okay, 100 plus. Yes. Okay, things like that. That's why it's not included only that. Helium, neon, krypton, argon, xenon, like that. Okay, radon. But the lowest is not. Okay, I think that is that's francium. I don't if you could still remember. Wait. Francium is another. Never mind. It's not yet in my brain cells now. Okay, this is my memory. Later I can remember that one also when I sleep. Okay, things like that. Okay, noble gases 6, 7, 6. Oy, kung kailan ba ito sa? So 6, man itong nagihap no. Si neon, krypton, xenon, krypton, argon. Mga noble gases. Ganon. The metalloids, mo na to siya si, okay, si arsenic. Okay, si antimony. Okay, si boron. Si germanium. Si silicon. O diba? Get the point? Si polonium. At saka si selenium. Okay, 7 metalloids or semiconductors. Like that. That's why silicon is very adaptable. Silicon used in electronic industry because it's under metalloids and semiconductor. Okay, things like that. Okay. And silicon also sometimes, I remember this in the board examination. I answered silicon there. There's a question like that. I could still remember because the question is the main component of the land or the soil, but its element there, main source element, largest, like that. I could not remember that how it phrased, but it talks about the largest element contributing in the soil. Okay. Now, I know that it's silica. It's iO2 or the sand. If the question will ask for a compound, right? But the question there asking for an element. Since silicon is in the compound, is iO2, then you have to choose is I. It's not oxygen. Oxygen is a gas, right? How come it will become the major element in the soil? In fact, it will be diffused in the atmosphere. It's in the land, common sense, okay? So it's gonna be is I. Okay, the point of silicon is the answer there. Okay, I could still remember this, okay? Silicon, okay, things in the board examination. Okay, things like that. Okay, what else? Noble gases, okay. Non-metals, 12. Now, let's mention one by one. Okay, we have hydrogen. Okay, we have, okay, sulfur. Okay, phosphorus. Nitrogen. Okay, things like that. So, fluorine, chlorine, bromine, iodine, astatine. How many? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Okay, dapat bromine, chlorine. Dapat siya chlorine. Okay, carbon. Okay, like that. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Okay, 12 siya kabuo. Ha? All the halogen group family will be considered as a non-metals. I-add na mo ang mga carbon family, nitrogen family, phosphorus family, sulfur family, and the hydrogen. Okay, non-metal siya. Okay? Get the point. Non-metals doesn't mean that it's not solid. Non-metals also can be a powder. like that. You get the point? And non-metals also would not mean always na it's a gas, it's a liquid. Even if it is powder, as long as it is not a hard, okay, substance, not fixed in a definite proportion or ratio, okay, that is really non-metal. Because metal cannot be degraded by natural, right? It cannot be broken into pieces by natural means, meaning you have to apply the heat, energy, like that. But for non-metal, sometimes no need to do that. When you put the powder there, it will scatter. Things like no need to have external forces, applied forces. By automatic only it will just do the changes or whatever. Okay, things like that. You get the point? Okay, so because metals are very strong, compacted, with malleability, luster, like that, okay? The properties of metals, okay? Ductility can be adjusted in different type of sheets or forms. Okay, ductility, right? Okay, you get the point? And luster, meaning shining, like that, blah, 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 so on. So, what else? The properties of metals. Okay? Gusto mo na siya. Rigidity, very strong, like that, blah, 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 so on. So, okay. And cannot be altered and changed by ordinary chemical means. Okay, it should be with great applied force, everything. Okay, you get the point? So, wala siya natabo. No? Ang metals is very easy because it's 93 and it will take time to enumerate all. You get the point? For example, iron like that. Okay, there's a lot, right? Arsenic, blah, 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 so and so. There, chromium, cobalt, lead, like that. Chupa chucho. Okay, get the point? So that's are the metals. Okay, so again, metals 93, non-metals 12, noble gases, let's have 6 metalloids is 7. A total of 118 elements. Okay, get the point? Things like that. Ganon. Okay, now, we need to go to the comprehensive classification. I love this, comprehensive. Meaning detailed. Okay, get the point. I love the detail. Charis. Okay, we have here Group 1A. Ano na siya katong bungkag-bungkag? So Group 1A, alkali metals. Group 2, alkaline earth metals. Okay. Okay, anak siya, no? Okay, charot. The group 3B, charot, 2, 7, okay, things like that, okay. It's gonna be transition elements, transition, okay, like that, okay. And now, we have also the boron family, carbon family, phosphorus family. The top person will be the owner of the family. So, let's say, group 6, nag-una dito si oxygen, so oxygen family. Sa group 4, group 4A, nag-una, what's in the top will be carbon. So, carbon family. O, ganon. So, group 5A, it's nitrogen. So, nitrogen family. Things like that. Okay? Just like you are the honor student, you are the representative of the class because you are the brightest among the brightest, top one. So you also represent the class. The same story in the elements. Okay, nitrogen family. Okay, means yung mga bright hindi sa dugo. Okay, like that. You get the point? Carbon family. Okay, like that. And then number 8, the group 8A supposedly is the zero group, which is the noble gases. The noble gases is still included. Okay, like that's 8 na siya. So number 9, there's another thing. We have the actinide series. I love this actinide series because of the element actinium, charat, where it has an atomic number of, okay, 89. Okay. Okay, so this is 89 to 103. atomic numbers. And then number 10, actinide series. Series because there's a lot. Okay, we have lanthanide series. Okay, lanthanide series like that. From 57 to, okay, 93. Things like that. Okay, 57 to 9, not 93, because here 89, common sense, it should be 70 plus. Okay, it's gonna be 57 to 71 only. Things like that, how when you still remember it correct immediately because it's common sense will do. You get the point? Things like, without common sense, you cannot pass the exam. Again, without common senses, you cannot pass the examination. Okay, so we have lanthanide. So lanthanide means from the element, okay, lanthium, which has an atomic number of 57. Here, actinium, atomic number of 89. Okay, so actinium meaning to say radioactive elements ni sila. From 89 to 103, radioactive elements. Okay, then 57 to 71, this is called rare earth metals. It can be found in the earth, but very rare. Okay, a lot of experimentation, exploration, like whatever. That is lanthanide series. Okay, but you remember I told you a while ago that we have 26 artificially prepared. So if you try to see the periodic table I have now, there are 28 supposedly in the actinide series plus lanthanide 28. Okay, artificially prepared. Now there are two there kasi which is naturally occurring ang uranium ang thorium. Okay, uranium with a molecular weight of 238 as the heaviest element in the periodic table and the heaviest element in the world. Uranium, 238. Mo yun siya ang pinakabugat, the heaviest element of all 118 elements, 238. There are still 239 atomic weight, but that is not naturally occurring. That's why we don't put that in the history or in the books because that's artificially prepared. We see kasi heaviest element meaning based on naturally occurring in the earth. That's why katong 240, 260 atomic weight beyond 103 sa actinide, it's not called the heaviest because it's artificially prepared. Okay, got the point? Thorium 232 atomic weight. Okay. So remember, actinide series are radioactive elements from 89 to 103 atomic numbers in the periodic table. It is in the last row, ROW or horizontal or the period in your periodic table. Okay, in which dito sila si uranium and si thorium, okay, radioactive elements. Okay, but both actinide and lanthanide are artificially prepared. Except lang yung uranium or thorium. If the question was in the future, what are the two elements that are not artificially prepared in the lanthanide and actinide series? Usually that choose A, cesium and iridium, B like that, and you can answer now. Very okay, clear. Uranium and thorium. Okay, that's why also Pierre Marie Curie and Henry Becquerel, as the award winner of the discovery of radioactivity, they use also uranium and thorium because it's naturally occurring in their X-ray. X-ray is Roentgen. Okay, like that. But he patterned his study to Henry Becquerel and Pierre Marie Curie in the discovery of radioactivity. Okay, radioactivity or let's say nuclear transmutation. You get the point? Radioactivity will be discussed in the topic of nuclear transmutation in nuclear chemistry. Okay, so our topic there will be very broad. Nuclear reactor. How can we make nuclear reactor? How can we activate the molecules and atoms to produce power, energy, electricity in terms of atoms bombarding with each other? Ganon, through chemical reactions in a nuclear power plant. Ganon. Wala siyang study sa nuclear engineering. Okay. And we have specialized course for that, BS in nuclear engineering. Okay, that's very clear na nga for our periodic table. Now, I said a while ago, guys, maningon ko ninyo that, okay, for example, if I have here hydrogen, chararat, okay, hydrogen, lithium, sodium, and potassium. Okay, like that. Okay. Which is more electropositive? Like that. Okay. So, i-arrange mo what is more electropositive? Hydrogen, lithium. So, the electropositive is potassium because it is having a higher atomic number. Things like that. You get the point. So, the more number of protons, the more it is electropositive. Okay, because electrons and protons in an atomic number will be similar. Okay, that's the definition of atomic number, right? Contains similar number of protons and electrons. It's the point, things like that. Okay, and then the atom also is neutral. Okay, you get the point? Things like that. So, if we try to say the periodic, 1, 2, period number na ta. Group number kalas, we are finished the valence electrons, group number. Now with period number 3, 4, and here also beryllium, magnesium, let's say, okay, calcium. Let's say, how many shells are there in magnesium? Shells meaning how many outermost shell, or like that, okay, or electron shell. How many orbits? Okay, electron orbits also in a nucleus are there in potassium. Your answer will be the period number 4, 3. So this is only the technique, ha? So you get the point. For example, if too far already, and this belong in the same row, it doesn't matter. For example, neon, it's in here. Example, for the purpose of discussion, how many